So just the other night, I had just finished watching my two evening programs, Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, and I got a call from a real good friend, Clyde. Now, Clyde wanted to know if I wanted to join him and our other good friend, Otto, for lunch the next day. And I said, well, that sounds fine. And we decided on a time, which was kind of a late lunch for us, 10:30 a.m. So we all get to the restaurant at that time, and my stomach is a growling. And we walk in, and the first thing I notice is the music in there. Now, when Clyde had talked to me about it originally, he said this was like a new age restaurant, and so it's probably some kind of artistic thing. But the only way I can think to describe the music, and I'm going to be honest with you, it sounded like people shouting in pain to the soundtrack of to the, to eagles flying and wind chimes. That's probably a spot on description. But like I said, I'm sure it's real artistic. I probably just didn't understand it. So we get seated, and the waitress asks us if we'd like anything to drink, and I say, well, I would like a coffee, and she says, well, do you want that supercharged? And I said, well, what's supercharged? And she says, well, we start out with a coffee base, and then we add in some almond milk, and then we add in just a little sprinkle of nutmeg, and then we add in some flaxseed, and then we add in a real smooth chia blend. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I got a little bit distracted right off the bat as soon as she said almond milk. I didn't even realize there was such a thing. I didn't even know almonds had milk. And then, for a large portion of the time when she was describing the supercharged to me, all I could see was little baby almonds running all about, crying for their mama almond. So I just told her, well, I'll just take mine black, and that's how I usually have it. So no problem there. So she brings her drinks back, and she asked me what we'd like to eat, and I'd been looking over the menu, and I found something I thought would be okay, and so I said, well, I'm looking at the Woodstock omelet, or it was a scrambler, Woodstock scrambler, and I said, but I'm not real sure what all I want in it. And she said, well, no, that's okay. You can customize it. And I said, well, I think I'll just go with what I can pronounce. And she said, okay, well, what will you have then? And I said, well, I'm just going to have the eggs. And she kind of gave me a funny look, but she said, okay, well, that's fine. And she said, would you like any bacon? And I said, I think I will take bacon. That sounds real good. And she says, well, it's a vegetarian bacon, and it don't matter to me none if the pigs are grass fed. So I said, well, that's fine. And so we get our meal, and we're just eating and having a good time. And I tell you, it was so fun at the end. These two police officers come in, and we now Clyde, when we were growing up, he was a real ornery young feller, and I'm going to tell you the truth. He's still real ornery. So when we're all together, if we ever see police officers, and we do this all the time, Otto and I will say, "Oh, here he is," and it's so funny. And Clyde, he really brings it up a couple notches. If he's being real quick, he'll say, "Oh, you got me." And it's just a real hoot. And those officers got the biggest kick out of that. They thought that was so funny, and I'm telling you, that really made our morning. That was oh man, that was so fun. It's just oh, you got me. Every time Clyde does that, I almost wet my drawers.